the long night of human civilization, owls have always been symbols of mystery. Their pupils, like black holes, devour the darkness. When their wings sweep by, even the tremble of the air is erased, and their heads, capable of rotating 270, seem to record every life they have observed. However, the true terror of these nighttime assassins goes far beyond this. They possess a sophisticated memory system in their brains that can transform enemies' scents, vocal patterns, and even genetic information into codes of revenge. All of this is a survival law bestowed upon them by evolution. The grudge-bearing of owls is not a projection of human emotions but a survival mechanism, forged by biology and ecology. Their cervical vertebrae consist of 14 bones, and the diameter of the vertebral artery channels is 10 times that of the blood vessels. This unique structure not only allows their heads to rotate freely, but also ensures continuous blood supply to the brain during rapid head movements. As a result, visual and auditory information can be converted into long-term memory. When a hawk owl encounters an Arctic fox stealing eggs on the tundra, it uses its facial disc feathers to collect odor molecules from the air. Through its olfactory bulb, a rare, well-developed olfactory center in birds, it encodes the fox's individual scent as a threat signal and stores it in the hippocampus. Danger database. This memory can even span seasons. When the Arctic fox approaches the nesting area again the following year, the hawk owl will dive from 200 meters up in the clouds, its talons precisely tearing open the intruder's throat. The retinas of owls are densely packed with rod cells, 100 times more than those of humans. These cells can capture faint light and transform the movement trajectory of prey into high-resolution images. Their eyes are located directly in the front of the face, forming a stereoscopic vision similar to that of humans. They can lock onto the three-dimensional coordinates of prey within 0.03 seconds. More astonishingly, their auditory system can convert the time difference and frequency difference of sounds into a vocal print map. The asymmetrical distribution of their ear openings, the left ear is 1 to 2 millimeters higher than the right ear, allows owls to determine the horizontal location of prey based on the time difference of sound waves reaching both ears. The special arrangement of facial disc feathers can focus sound waves and detect the subtle vibrations of voles digging burrows beneath the snow. Experiments have shown that the eastern screech owl in North America can remember the vocal prints of more than 100 intruders. Even after 2 years, they can still lock on to targets through sound. This grudge-bearing is essentially an extreme manifestation of territorial defense. Owls mark their boundaries with chemical pheromones in their feces, and the molecular structure of these scent marks varies with individual genes. For example, snowy owls can secrete sulfur compounds from their anal glands, which mix with feces to form a unique olfactory signature. Other snowy owls can identify the individual identity of specific intruders through smell. When their territory is violated, they integrate the intruder's scent characteristics with vocal and visual features to form a threat profile and trigger an attack. In 2019, an observation record in Alaska showed that a snowy owl attacked scientific expedition members in the same area for 3 consecutive years after encountering a human egg thief. Even when the members changed their clothes, the owl could still accurately identify them. In resource-scarce environments, the ferocity of owls is a necessary strategy for the survival of their species. For example, the spotted owl living in tropical rainforests can establish a prey map by remembering the population density of rodents in specific areas. When the number of rodents in a certain area decreases due to human activities, they mark the area as a danger zone and attack any conspecific chicks trying to settle there. This behavior, which may seem cruel, is actually a survival algorithm to avoid intraspecific competition. By reducing the survival rate of offspring in low-quality territories, it ensures the genetic superiority of the entire population. In addition, their pellets, digestive residues contain the DNA and bone fragments of prey. Scientists have solved many cases of illegal poaching based on this. In 2022, the Indonesian police identified a smuggling chain of protected species by analyzing the genes of reptiles in owl pellets. Humans label the aggressive behavior of owls as grudge-bearing, or ferocity, which is actually a misunderstanding of their ecological role. The ancient Greeks associated owls with Athena, the goddess of wisdom, believing that their calls foretold revenge. In Norse mythology, owls were regarded as carriers of memories of death. These legends reflect human awe of the owl's precise memory capabilities. Modern ecology reveals that when owls frequently attack humans, it is often an early warning of ecological imbalance. For example, a group of horned owls in a certain area of Canada once collectively attacked farmers. In fact, it was because rodenticides caused genetic mutations in voles, and the owls, through their memory of the scent of poisoned prey, regarded humans as the source of pollution. The black technology of owls goes far beyond this. The serrated structure on the leading edge and the downy feathers on the trailing edge of their wings can reduce flight noise to 0.01 decibels, below the human auditory threshold. More astonishingly, they can form memory trajectories at the wingtips through air vortices, returning to the nest along fixed routes in the dark with an error of no more than 15 centimeters. The uniqueness of their iris patterns also makes them natural biometric identifiers. In 2023, Russian scientists successfully identified individual owls that repeatedly attacked wind farms through iris scanning technology and installed GPS trackers on them. The grudge-bearing and ferocity of owls are survival wisdom honed by natural selection. They use 14 cervical vertebrae to build a memory network, rod cells to record images in the darkness, and vocal print databases to lock on to enemies. Finally, they transform revenge into the talons that sustain their species. As we marvel at the ruthlessness of these Avengers members, perhaps we should reflect more. Should humans also, like owls, use memory as a mirror to remember the fragility and preciousness of ecosystems? After all, when an owl begins to frequently attack humans, what it may truly resent is not a particular individual, but the entire collapsing ecological order.